and welcome back to Football Made Simple. The final round of 16 matches took centre stage, and Setien's Barcelona and Gattuso's Napoli clashed at the Nou Camp. With Setien under pressure, he needed the win, and in the end the match ended 3-1 to his side, thanks to goals by Longley, Messi and Suarez, whilst Insigne netted for Napoli. But what tactics did both managers use? In this video we take a look. A quick shout out to my Patreons for helping to make this video possible. If you want to support, head on over to patreon.com/footballmadesimple and you'll get rewards like early access to videos and exclusive content. A quick reminder of the formations used by both managers, as seen on the OneFootball app. If you want to get match updates, player and team stats, and so much more for free, download OneFootball through the sponsored link in the description below. Let's start with what Napoli looked to do when they had the ball. Napoli looked to play out in deeper regions, trying to get to the ball to their centre-backs whenever they could. Although at times Barcelona did look to press high, for the most part they used a higher block but without being ultra-aggressive in the press. Barca altered their usual defensive shape, and instead of using their usual flat 4-4-2 in the defensive phase, they used something closer to a 4-4-2 diamond. Messi and Suarez would push higher to be able to pressure the centre-backs when they could, whilst Antoine Griezmann looked to sit on Napoli's deepest midfielder, usually Deme. This meant that Barcelona would make progress through the centre of the pitch incredibly difficult, and this is shown as Napoli could only use the centre of the pitch 22% of the time. So, to begin the plays, Napoli's fullbacks, who pushed higher, were crucial. On the left-hand side, they had interesting mechanisms, as Messi, who nominally played on the right, was the least involved in the pressing, so he could most easily be bypassed. Napoli had success on the left-hand side using their 2-1 advantage against Semedo. If they got the ball to Rui, early on in the match Semedo could be drawn higher up into a press, and the ball was often returned to Koulibaly in particular, who consistently in the match looked for the switch to Insigne in the space. His 10 long balls were a team high. But as the match went on, this became less and less effective, as Napoli stopped working the ball in deeper regions first to draw Semedo out of position before going long, and instead they went to him directly, which meant that Semedo was in position to challenge for the aerial, and this was an ineffective use of their 2-1 advantage. And Zielinski was key to the play on the left-hand side, often looking to push high into the left-hand channel to try and create the overload, as this would draw a Barcelona midfield, potentially stopping them from pressing Napoli's wide men instead. This would then allow the two wide men to link up more effectively. And in fact, as they chased the game later on when Milik came on, this man advantage created space for Rui to whip in the crosses, which he did well, with 4 attempted crosses, 2 of which were accurate. This even led to a disallowed goal. On the right hand side, Zielinski's movement was key. Callahan would stay wide when they had the ball, and Napoli would look to rotate the ball in these wider regions. Mertens would then move deeper towards the ball, drawing a centre-back with him, and Zielinski would make the run into the vacated space, but they rarely found his dangerous runs with the pass. But how about Barcelona? What did they do to come out on top? Barcelona looked to play out from the back as usual. As the match went on and Napoli were pressing much higher, Barcelona pushed their fullbacks much wider to try and draw Napoli's wingers into these wide regions to stop the easy outlet. So, Napoli had to commit a midfielder alongside Mertens to create a 2-2 here. But then Barcelona would split their centre-backs, and ter Stegen functioned as their extra man to create a 3-2, so Barcelona usually managed to play out from these areas. With an extra midfielder high, Barcelona could potentially play into midfield, and if Napoli committed the extra men higher to press the options, there would be a gap between the lines, which one forward could look to drop into, whilst the other forwards pushed higher up to allow them to receive the ball here. And higher up, Barcelona used interesting mechanisms. They again used a shifting front three shape that could have two men behind the one forward or one man behind the two forwards depending on the situation. They would often drop into the region between the lines, and this would force Napoli's wider midfielders into decisions. If they pushed high, it meant that one incisive pass would break the lines, which would give Barcelona space in which to create. In addition, Koulibaly was aggressive when defending, looking to pick up the men between the lines, and this left space behind him. These mechanisms are present in Barcelona's disallowed goal. However, when they stayed deep, this gave Barcelona's deeper midfielders too much space to dictate the play. As a result, Napoli were often forced to tuck their wingers in, leading to quite a narrow shape. De Jong on the left-hand side then often pushed higher and wider, which would drag Napoli's wingers deeper, making Alba and Semedo easy outlet options, whilst potentially freeing space for Griezmann to drop into. And this space was utilised well by Alba, who would get high up the pitch and look for the cross or a decisive pass, with his three key passes being a team high. Overall, this was one of the better performances by Setien's Barca, but I'd love to know how you think they'll fare in their encounter against Bayern Munich. And what else did you notice during this match? Drop it down in the comments below. And a special shout out to my Patreons for helping to make this video possible. Aidan Callan, FMR, C7H1, William Gammon, Javier Diaz, Jesse Kassebaum, Christopher Bryant, Joey Jenkins, Cho Chun, Namdi, and Alex Postatny. Head over to patreon.com/footballmadesimple if you want to help support the channel. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.